Grand Central Terminal, New York City, New York. Welcome to the beating heart of New York City. This is Grand Central Terminal, more than just a train station. It's a time capsule, a marvel of engineering, a temple of movement, and a living museum wrapped in architectural grandeur. As the morning light filters through the towering arched windows, casting golden beams across Tennessee marble floors, we begin our journey through time and space. This terminal has witnessed over a century of arrivals and departures, of families reunited, lives changed, stories written with each echoing footstep. Whether you're a daily commuter, a first-time visitor, or someone who's only seen it in movies, Grand Central has a way of stopping you in your tracks. It's not just a station. It's a universe of its own. So, sit back, relax, and let's journey through 42 ND Street's iconic cathedral, exploring its history, secrets, design, culture, and soul. Origins of a giant, the birth of Grand Central. Before Grand Central Terminal rose into iconic status, there was chaos. The mid-1800s in New York City was a rail mess. Trains from different companies ended in different locations, creating a confusing, dangerous web of steam and steel. That's when Cornelius Vanderbilt stepped in. Vanderbilt was no ordinary man. He was the railroad tycoon, the Commodore who saw the future of New York. In 1871, he opened the original Grand Central Depot, a unified station for 3 major railroads. It was revolutionary at the time, a central point for arrivals and departures on Manhattan's East Side. But the depot was just the beginning. As train traffic grew, the station quickly became overwhelmed. And then came the disaster that changed everything. On January 8, 1902, 2 trains collided in a smoky, dark tunnel just north of the station. 15 people lost their lives. The culprit? Steam-powered trains in poorly ventilated tunnels. The tragedy shocked the public and pushed lawmakers to act. New York City banned steam locomotives south of the Harlem River, and that forced the railroad to reinvent everything. Electric trains were coming. And so was the terminal that would change the city forever. Building the icon, engineering and architecture. Grand Central Terminal wasn't just built, it was imagined, argued over, and sculpted like a grand work of art. The architects were 2 powerful forces, Reed and Stem, masters of railroad design, and Warren and Wetmore, obsessed with Beaux-Arts beauty. Their collaboration was more like a clash, but it resulted in genius. At the heart of the terminal was a bold new idea, grade separation. Instead of surface-level chaos, Grand Central would sink the tracks underground. It would use a bi-level train yard, 1 level for incoming and 1 for outgoing trains. Ramps instead of stairs allowed for natural passenger flow, revolutionary at the time. The building above would be a palace. A Beaux-Arts temple to motion. Towering columns. Carved eagles. An astronomical ceiling. Grand Central wasn't just about utility, it was about awe. It took 10 years, thousands of workers, and millions of dollars. Steel, granite, glass, and marble all came together. By February 2, 1913, Grand Central Terminal opened to the public. Over 150,000 people showed up on opening day. It was more than a train station, it was a declaration. New York had arrived. And it had built a cathedral to prove it. A terminal like no other, inside the building. Step inside Grand Central Terminal, and you're not just in a transit hub, you're in a living sculpture. Every inch is designed to impress, to guide, and to inspire. It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about the journey. Let's start with the main concourse, a cavernous, almost cathedral-like space that can hold thousands of people at once. The ceiling towers 125 feet above you, but don't forget to look up. There's a stunning celestial mural painted on the ceiling, depicting constellations like Orion and Pegasus in gold leaf. But here's the twist, it's backwards. Some say it's a medieval artist's interpretation of the night sky from God's point of view. Others say it was simply an error. Either way, it adds to the terminal's mythos. Now, in the center of the concourse stands one of Grand Central's most iconic features, the information booth clock. With 4 opal faces and a value estimated at over $20 million, it's more than a timepiece, it's a meeting point for generations. Meet me at the clock isn't just a phrase in New York, it's a tradition. Walk toward the Whispering Gallery near the Oyster Bar, and you'll find a delightful acoustic trick. Speak softly into one corner, and your voice carries over the arch to the other side. Whispered secrets travel through stone. Then there's Vanderbilt Hall, once a bustling waiting room, now an elegant event space. And the Campbell Apartment, hidden in a corner on the balcony level, once served as a millionaire's private office, and now lives on as a cocktail bar steeped in speakeasy glamour. Beneath your feet are more secrets still, M42, a sub-basement so secret it was long classified, powering the entire terminal. Then there's Track 61, the mysterious platform used by Franklin D. Roosevelt to discreetly arrive in New York. Every tile, stair, and light fixture tells a story. Grand Central isn't just built to move people, it's built to move hearts. Grand Central in wartime and peace. In times of war and peace, Grand Central stood firm, not just as a station, but as a symbol of American resilience. During World War I, Grand Central played a crucial role in transporting soldiers to ports and training camps. Troop trains rolled out day and night, carrying young men across the country, their futures uncertain. Families said goodbye under the celestial ceiling, often for the last time. By World War II, the station had become a military artery. The terminal was alive with uniforms. A USO lounge was installed to offer weary service members rest, food, and a friendly smile. Letters were mailed, telegrams received, and lives changed between those marble walls. But there's one secret that defines Grand Central's wartime legacy: Track 61. Hidden beneath the Waldorf Astoria Hotel, it was used to transport President Franklin D. Roosevelt directly into the city, shielded from public view due to his paralysis. His armored train would roll onto the platform, and an elevator would lift his car to the hotel above. Few people ever saw it happen. Fewer still even knew it existed. Even outside of war, the station became a place of homecomings and reunions. Soldiers returned, lovers reunited, and victory was celebrated under the same vaulted ceiling that once echoed with anxious footsteps. In peace, Grand Central became a cultural anchor, symbolizing stability in a rapidly changing city. It hosted war bond drives, welcomed home Olympic athletes, and was featured in every patriotic film reel you can imagine. In war and in peace, Grand Central has never stopped moving. It has always stood as a powerful reminder that even in our darkest hours, we still arrive, we still depart, and we always come back. Decline and resurrection. Every great monument faces decline. And for Grand Central Terminal, the second half of the 20th century was a long, painful descent. After World War II, America fell in love with the automobile. Highways replaced rail lines. Suburbs replaced city life. Airline travel took off. And the grand old rail stations of America began to empty. Grand Central was no exception. By the 1960s, the terminal was worn and forgotten. Its windows were covered with grime. Its ceiling hidden behind billboards. Homelessness and crime took hold in the concourse. What was once a jewel had become a relic, dirty, noisy, and dim. But the true crisis came in 1968, when developers proposed a skyscraper to be built directly above the terminal. They wanted to demolish parts of the historic structure to make room for modern offices. New York was at risk of losing one of its greatest treasures. That's when a new battle began, one not of construction, but of preservation. And leading the charge? Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. The former First Lady joined city leaders and architects in a campaign to save the terminal. Her words still echo: if we don't care about our past, we cannot hope for our future. The case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. and in 1978, Grand Central was officially protected as a New York City landmark, saving it from demolition. That ruling became a turning point in American preservation history. Though victory was declared, the war wasn't over. Grand Central still needed rescue, not just from wrecking balls, but from decay. And that would take decades more. Modern marvel, the Restoration era. A building can be saved. But to truly live again, it must be reborn. In the 1990s, a massive, multi-year restoration began. Led by the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, MTA, and backed by private partners like the Municipal Art Society and the Grand Central Partnership, Grand Central entered its second golden age. The most stunning transformation? The ceiling. Decades of cigarette smoke and city soot had stained the painted sky black. It took artisans years to clean it, using Q-tips and careful chemicals. As the grime peeled away, constellations glowed once again. They left a small patch of dirt near Cancer as a reminder of what was overcome. They restored not just the building's beauty, but its purpose. Windows were uncovered. Chandeliers were rewired. The marble was polished, and the concourse gleamed like it hadn't in generations. But this wasn't just a cosmetic fix, it was a full rebirth. New retail spaces opened. The Grand Central Market offered gourmet foods and fresh produce. Restaurants like the legendary Grand Central Oyster Bar were revived. It became a place to shop, eat, and linger, not just catch a train. The restoration was completed in 1998, and the results were spectacular. Grand Central was once again a landmark, not just historically, but functionally. It worked. It breathed. It welcomed millions again, not just as passengers, but as visitors, fans, and proud New Yorkers. Today, Grand Central isn't a museum. It's alive. A perfect balance of past and present. A place where you can order sushi under a 1913 mural or check your email beneath a chandelier lit over a century ago. This is more than preservation. It's resurrection. Grand Central wasn't just saved, it was reimagined, respected, and reborn for the next century. A day in the life of Grand Central. Grand Central Terminal doesn't sleep. It breathes. Every single day, it pulses with energy, routine, and surprise. To witness a single day here is to glimpse the rhythm of New York City itself. It begins early. As the sky turns pink over Manhattan, the first commuters begin to arrive. Quiet. Focused. Coffee in hand. The terminal slowly comes alive, gates roll up, lights flicker on, the smell of fresh pastries fills the halls. Trains hum below ground, waiting to carry thousands to their destinations. By 8 a.m., the morning rush hour explodes. More than 750,000 people pass through Grand Central on a busy day. Conductors yell, "All aboard!" Announcements echo through the concourse. The marble floors ripple with foot traffic. It's chaos, but it's orchestrated. Behind the scenes, an army keeps it running: cleaners, mechanics, engineers, electricians, security officers. There are hundreds of unsung heroes who keep the building spotless, safe, and on schedule. Many have worked here for decades, they know the tunnels like a second home. But Grand Central isn't just for commuters. During the day, tourists come to marvel. Shoppers stroll the Grand Central Market, picking out fresh produce, artisan cheese, and imported chocolates. In the food court below, you'll find everything from gourmet tacos to classic New York pizza. Every craving covered. As the sun sets, the vibe shifts. Jazz floats through Vanderbilt Hall. Travelers move slower. Photographers set up tripods to capture that magical glow. By 8 or 9 p.m., it quiets, just a few late-night trains and solitary travelers gliding through the shadows. And then, in the quiet of midnight, the station is never truly still. Maintenance crews clean. Technicians check signal boxes. The heartbeat continues, preparing for another day, another rush, another chapter in its never-ending story. Grand Central and pop culture. Grand Central Terminal isn't just a station. It's a star. You've seen it even if you've never been there. On the silver screen. In commercials. In comic books, novels, and music videos. Grand Central isn't just a place, it's a symbol. A shorthand for movement, for drama, for New York itself. Let's start with film. The station made a grand entrance in Alfred Hitchcock's North by Northwest, 1959. Cary Grant darts through the concourse, hunted and cornered, under those glowing chandeliers. It was tension, elegance, and iconic design, all in one shot. Then came the blockbusters. The Avengers, 2012, famously staged its alien battle right outside Grand Central, with Iron Man flying past the terminal's statues. Animated films like Madagascar reimagined it as a jungle launchpad. And in Men in Black, it even became home to intergalactic travelers. TV shows? Endless. From Gossip Girl's pilot scene to Law & Order, Friends, and The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Grand Central often appears as a character itself, sometimes mysterious, sometimes magical. Literature also has its say. In The Catcher in the Rye, Holden Caulfield wanders through the terminal, lost and drifting. In fiction, it often becomes a metaphor for crossroads, for choices made and missed. A place where lives intersect and futures shift. Even in music videos, Grand Central shines. From Beyoncé's underground glam to Jay-Z's shoutouts and rap lyrics, the terminal represents hustle, ambition, and timeless cool. But beyond the fame, there's meaning. People see Grand Central and instantly feel something. It's drama. It's nostalgia. It's movement. And it's that very feeling that makes it irresistible to storytellers. Because where else in the world can you film history, architecture, drama, and dreams, all in one frame? The terminal's future. Grand Central may be over a century old, but it's not stuck in the past. In fact, its future is already underway. The biggest leap? The East Side Access Project. After decades of planning and over $11 billion in investment, Grand Central now welcomes Long Island Railroad trains for the first time in its history. This monumental expansion added an entirely new concourse, Grand Central Madison, deep beneath the existing terminal. Grand Central Madison isn't just an addition. It's a new city beneath the city. With gleaming white hallways, digital information screens, colorful mosaic art, and long escalators descending over 15 stories underground, it marks the largest passenger rail terminal built in the U.S. since the 1950s. And with it, the terminal's reach expands dramatically. Now, hundreds of thousands of LIRR commuters can arrive directly into the east side of Manhattan, cutting travel times and easing crowd pressure on Penn Station. But innovation goes beyond train lines. Grand Central is embracing technology, too. Mobile ticketing, Wi-Fi, real-time updates, all now standard. And yet, none of these modern touches overshadow the building's classic charm. Instead, they blend seamlessly. Even sustainability is part of the vision. The MTA has committed to making the terminal more energy efficient, with better lighting systems, climate control, and eco-friendly infrastructure upgrades. So what does the future hold? Possibly more high-speed rail, smarter scheduling, and enhanced accessibility for all passengers. But one thing is certain, Grand Central will remain a cornerstone of New York's transit future, flexible, durable, and always iconic. In a city that never stands still, neither does its greatest station. Hidden stories and forgotten corners. Beneath the elegance, behind the marble, and above the vaulted ceilings, Grand Central Terminal holds secrets. Some are whimsical. Like the secret tennis court, yes, really. Hidden above the terminal on the 4th floor is the Vanderbilt Tennis Club, originally built in the 1960s and still operating today. You can actually play a match above the main concourse without most people knowing it exists. Other stories are darker. There's M42, the power substation deep underground that was so top secret during World War II, it didn't even appear on blueprints. The Nazis reportedly targeted it, knowing that damaging M42 could cripple East Coast train traffic, and with it, the American war effort. Then there's Track 61, the infamous ghost platform beneath the Waldorf Astoria. Franklin D. Roosevelt used it to secretly enter New York while hiding his polio. His bulletproof train car remains part of the legend, rusting in silence below the city. Scattered throughout the terminal are untouched stairwells, doors that lead to nowhere, platforms that haven't seen a train in decades. Some were built for mail trains, others for defunct lines, a few simply abandoned as needs changed. And then there are the human stories. A proposal beneath the Whispering Gallery. A musician who played in the food court for 40 years. A man who returned to Grand Central every Christmas Eve because it's where he met his wife in 1952. These stories don't make the brochures. They aren't always captured in selfies or featured in the movies. But they are just as real. Just as essential. Because Grand Central isn't just a building. It's a repository of memory. Of hidden corners where time pauses. Of lives intersecting in unexpected ways. And in every whispering wall and dusty stairwell, the station holds onto those stories, waiting for curious minds like yours to discover them. Why Grand Central still matters. We've explored the tracks and tunnels, the whispering corners and celestial ceilings, the triumphs and near tragedies. We've witnessed Grand Central as a marvel of architecture, an engine of war, a stage of pop culture, and a sanctuary for stories. But the question still remains, why does Grand Central Terminal still matter? Because it's not just a building, it's a living memory. A symbol of New York's soul. In a world that moves faster every year, Grand Central reminds us to pause. To look up. To listen. To feel history around us, alive in every detail. Each day, hundreds of thousands pass through its arches. Some are late. Some are lost. Some are in love. All are part of the same dance. The same shared rhythm. They may not notice the golden clock or the constellations. But they're part of the story, just as much as the commuters of 1913, the soldiers of the 1940s, the activists of the 1970s, or the restorers of the 1990s. Grand Central is not frozen in time. It carries time. It moves with time. It survives, adapts, and inspires. And somehow, despite all its grandeur, it still feels personal. So, the next time you step through its doors, take a moment. Look beyond the schedule board. Listen to the echoes. Feel the heartbeat of a city that never sleeps and a terminal that never stops. Because Grand Central Terminal is more than a train station. It's a cathedral of movement. A monument to dreams. And a testament to the enduring beauty of coming, going, and coming back again. If you enjoyed this journey through the heart of Grand Central Terminal, don't forget to like this video. It helps us reach more history lovers like you. Share it with friends, travelers, or anyone who appreciates the hidden beauty of iconic places. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel for more deep dive documentaries just like this one. There's always another story waiting, another landmark to uncover, and we'd love to have you along for the ride. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next adventure.